Hey y'all, I'm Elisa and I am the Scrappy Wife behind scrappywife.com, and today I have a Bible journaling process video for you. I'm going to be journaling some sermon notes in Ephesians 4, and I wanted to show you how I normally take my sermon notes. This is a Chic Sparrow Traveler's Notebook. It was a beautiful gift from Lori and Tom at By the Well for God, and they sent it to the entire creative team as our Christmas present, and each picked our favorite color, and I'm so blessed. This is just a gorgeous, gorgeous traveler's notebook. They do have these available in their shop, and they are a bit of a splurge, but my goodness, it is absolutely worth it. It is so gorgeous. So inside, I'm using mine as kind of a faith notebook, and I have different traveler's notebooks. The beginning is a prayer journal, and I prayer journal every morning during my quiet time. I have a gratitude journal where I also list out 3 things I'm thankful for every day and then write a few affirmations. I keep the devotional that I'm currently working on, which is of course the 2020 Vision devotional from By the Well for God. And then in the back, I have a blank traveler's notebook that I am using to keep sermon notes for this season. So this week I am on Sermon 2 of a series that my pastor is doing called In, Not Of. I will be journaling, like I said, in Ephesians 4, 17 through 27. I will put you on fast forward. I'm excited to try a couple of different products that I haven't used before. We'll see how it all turns out. Let's go. To begin my page, I am just setting down a background of watercolors, and these are Koi watercolors. I picked them up on Amazon. These are probably 4 years old, and I just love this set. I'm using just a simple water brush, and this is a great travel set. It's very small and compact, and the watercolors are pretty good quality. So you can see that I'm mixing just some different blues, some different shades of blues, being pretty messy. I put plenty of water on this page, which is a little risky with the illustrating Bible because it doesn't always take water very well, but I'm being careful not to overwork it on the page, meaning not overdoing the brush strokes. I'm just kind of placing it down, filling in all of the gaps, and then letting the color kind of move on top of the page. And you'll see how I get rid of some of the extra kind of messy looking brush strokes in just a second. I want it to be a smoother background. I am taking a large flat brush, and I'm just, you can see, just going straight down over the page, doing up and down strokes. This is causing the blending to be even smoother, which I really like, and it's getting rid of some of those brush strokes that I wasn't liking in the background. Then I'm getting my brush extra wet. You can see adding a little bit of water over here on the side, and I kind of wanted the color to trail off over the text. Of course, you can still read the text when you use watercolor, but I wanted it to trail and not have a definite line, and so you can see me pulling it over there. The next step will be to dry this page thoroughly. That does take some time. It does wrinkle just a bit, but no big deal. It will flatten out once my Bible has been closed. Now I'm taking my favorite metallic watercolors, and I'm just adding some different splatters. This is like a gold splatter, and the idea is I'm creating a snowy winter scene. So the gold splatters, I just always love gold and metallic, and it just adds a little bit of interest to the background. This ends up being a lot of work for the background of the page, but when you are doing mixed media layouts, that's often what happens, but I really appreciate the effect. I have this large snowflake stencil from the Crafters Workshop, and I used my pixie spray so that it would stay in place. And then I'm grabbing a new set of stamps that I just picked up from Sweet and Sassy Stamps, and this is my first order from them, and I am so excited about these background stamps. So I'm using 2 different colors of Distress Oxide, and I am stamping through the stencil. My hope here is to get just a very faint feeling of snowflakes in the background, but I didn't want to go the typical shading over the top because that was just too defined for me. I really wanted it to be a loose feel. I wasn't going for a super themed page right here, but I liked the idea of the snowflake impressions in the background. In retrospect, I wish I had done just a little bit more stamping, made it a slightly more solid, but I like the pattern. I really like the background texture it provides, and for me, I just know that there's a hint of snowflake in the background, so I'm very pleased with the wintry feel that it's created. There are 3 main points that I'm wanting to capture from the sermon, so I choose these library cards. These are actually from a printable, I believe, from By the Well for God, from a past kit. And I have these sweet girls, and these are also from Sweet and Sassy Stamps, and I bought their whole person bundle, I guess, where you can create all kinds of faces. And what I'm going to do here is kind of create 3 winter themed-esque girls, and I'm just using a spare piece of paper. This isn't cheap printer paper, but it's not all the way up to a full-on cardstock yet because I didn't want to add too much bulk. So I'm going to choose 3 ladies, stamp them out on my paper, and then use some high quality pencils, the Prismacolor pencils, to color in, give them some unusual traits and characteristics, and they are going to be die cuts and ephemera for my page. I really like the size of these girls. When I ordered the stamp set, I honestly thought that the people would be slightly larger. And so when they came smaller, I was a little bit disappointed, but it works out really well for the margins of a Bible. It's not going to take up a ton of room. You can actually do a collection of people on the page and it not be too cluttered. So in the end, I did end up liking the sizing of those. You see I have some spare paper. This is all Felicity Jane paper right here, and I am stamping basically some little clothing for my ladies, adding a little V-neck t-shirt for each of them. The bottom of each person is going to be hidden, so I don't have to kind of create a full body, but I'll just trim out those, put you guys on hyper speed here, trim those out, and then add them to my people, add a little coloring, and then have these very unique pieces. I think that's one of the fun things about using stamps. And if you've been watching me, you know that using stamps is one of my goals, just using my stamp collection more. And I used to just limit myself to stamping directly in my Bible or directly in my memory keeping projects. But when you stamp on the side, when you do it on cardstock, it really is a cool way to create your own unique pieces that no one else is going to have. So you can see I'm going to have a little brunette girl, and I'm going to add some purple streaks in her hair. I end up with a girl with bright pink hair and a girl with some bright blue hair, and those are die cut pieces I certainly did not have in my collection, but it was fun to create. I forgot how much fun it is to just color, to just relax. When I first started Bible journaling, all I did were colored pencils. And if you are a beginner Bible journaler, those are fantastic for starting. Grab yourself a couple stamps, grab yourself some colored pencils, and you can go to town and you can create so many, I don't know, layouts and ideas with just colored pencils. You don't have to overwhelm yourself with supplies and die cuts and glitters and paints. Just stick to the basics if you're getting started, and you'll find that you can do a whole lot with just some of the basics. Also imagine that if you are into Copic markers or alcohol markers, that this would be another fun technique to do, to just create your own pieces that can go into your journaling. Of course, those alcohol markers bleed straight through a Bible journal page and through many pages. So using them outside of your Bible and then cutting it out and putting it in is a great way to use some of the supplies that you wouldn't normally be able to use in your Bible. So you can see I'm shading in the faces. I'm adding sweet little cheeks for each girl, and then I will trim those out and end up with my 3 ladies, and I will attach their little shirts once I get them into the Bible. Now, if you have been following me for very long, you know I've been in an adhesive dilemma. I was using the Tombow permanent tape runners, which work fabulous, but when you craft as much as I do, the cost of those really adds up. And so I had several people recommend the ATG Gun Advanced Tape Glider from Scotch, and I finally found one at my local Michael's. I used a 60% off coupon because this is a pricey tool. I think it's like $40 regularly or $45, something like that. And so I used my 60% off coupon. It is a little tricky to load the gun, so you're definitely going to want to kind of get a YouTube video and see how to load it. And I'm still getting used to how the trigger works, but I am liking it. I am able to use it for some larger pieces. I'm having trouble controlling it on smaller pieces, which is why you see me using my smaller tape runner right here. So I'm not sure if it's just not meant to do some smaller detail pieces, or maybe it's just a learning curve that I'm still on. But I like having that option, and the refills are certainly much more affordable than the Tombow refills. So I think in the end, it will end up saving me some money on adhesive. After I attached the ladies, I realized because I chose V-neck shirts, there was a little bit of a gap that I had to color in with the same kind of skin tone color. And then the faces looked really light. So I came back in with that same colored pencil and kind of gave them a darker blend so that it would blend with their necks just a little bit more. Now, these are Alpha stickers from By the Well for God. I am an avid collector of all their Alpha tile stickers because I thoroughly believe you can use them on any project, as you can see here. And I am adding 3 statements on these library cards. And the whole sermon series that we are having in church is called In, Not Of, and we are talking about practical ways to be in the world but not of the world. And actually we are specifically focusing on the upcoming election. I live just outside of Washington, D.C., and it is certainly a hotbed of political discussion, and there's I just remember last time in 2016 when the election came, just so much bitterness and so much anger all the way around from all sides, and it was really divisive. And so our pastor definitely wants to kind of jump out there and give us practical ways as Christians to kind of be involved and certainly express our views, but not be of the world, to remember that our allegiance, our citizenship is in heaven and not in this world. So that being said, the 3 main statements that I took away from the sermon were that the church is called to be informed but not entangled, the church is called to be engaged but not enraged, and the church is called to love but not loathe. And the specific focus here is in Ephesians 5:17 through 26. So I urge you to go read those verses. They were really meaningful and they definitely hit home. I really am enjoying the sermon series. It is a challenge series, but I think it's giving some real practical advice. And I'll make sure to link it below if you're interested in checking it out. I'm adding my title, and my title is going to be A Functional Independent, because this is a statement my pastor made about how instead of just always aligning ourselves with one side or the other, but to use really our intellect and our faith to help us make decisions, and to not blindly align ourselves with a party or a faction, and always to make sure that we are putting our Christianity first, that we're leading with our faith. So I liked the idea of functional independence, meaning that I will constantly be evaluating based on my faith. Now, I definitely don't mean to spark any political discussion below, but I just wanted to share this sermon series. It really is thought-provoking for me, and I wanted to share how I like to kind of notate some sermon notes in my Bible. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to add the date here, mark my verses, and this page will be done. All the supplies I used will be linked below. I am really enjoying these Sweet and Sassy stamps. This was my first time buying from this company, but the stamps seem like really great quality, and I'm pleased that I did go ahead and purchase them when they were on sale recently, and I can't wait to see what else they come out with. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button as well as that bell notification button. I hope you have a fabulous day. I hope you have a beautiful winter day, and as always, keep it creative.